I have experienced the worst panic attack of my life. Today I want to talk about something that has happened to me in the past few weeks or the past few months, which has been the reason why I haven't been posting any new video here in my channel. I think it's about 2 months now. Anxiety attacks or panic attacks, they're pretty similar. I think that was around end of July. So something happened health-wise, emergency situation, and it's just that everything has been going on at the same time. So I was super busy. I was also super stressed with whatever is happening. And so it came to a point when I had to rush myself to the emergency room because my heart rate came up to 200, like 200 beats per minute. And I really felt and thought that I was going to have a heart attack, or like my heart was going to stop because it was beating so fast that I could not properly see anymore. My vision became blurry and I felt super lightheaded and dizzy. I did not faint or anything. I fought that feeling because I still wanted to message my family and everyone because of what was happening to me. I was so paranoid. So when I got to the emergency room, they gave me an adenosine shot, which immediately converted and made my heart rate back normal. But that was like kind of the turning point. I was really asking myself, what is happening to me? And what is the cause of this all? Well, to me, it was clear what the cause of that panic attack and anxiety attack, but I'm not going to delve into the details of it. I have experienced something like that previously, like a year before, and it was also because of too much like stress from work. It's just like a combination of everything that made me feel super sick. And so, yes, it was not a good feeling. It wasn't like, I don't know, it really made me feel like I was gonna pass out. Like that was it. That was the end of it. So I just want to share with you what I have been doing that actually worked for me when I would feel that an anxiety attack or a panic attack was coming. And I thought that it was important to share with you as well, just in case you're experiencing something like it. An anxiety attack or a panic attack can happen at any time. And sometimes you may not notice it, that it's already happening to you, but it just comes in super unexpected times. But the good thing is that when you are aware of it, that it's coming, you can actually do something about it. The first thing that I would say worked really well for me was to force myself to get checked. I know it's super scary, like you're feeling all of these sorts of emotions, and these emotions are manifesting physically because of the heart rate, feeling dizzy and feeling lightheaded, and you are just not sure what's happening to you. So sometimes you may think that, you don't want to know what is happening, so just not have yourself checked at all. But in my case, I really forced myself to go to the doctor and have myself checked after the incident at the emergency room. I was also glad that the ER doctor advised me to really do the follow-up checkup and the tests. So I had the blood tests done for my heart specifically because I was like super concerned, and the ER doctor was also super concerned that it might be heart attack or it might be something with my heart. So I had a 2D echo done. I also had like a TROP-E test, which was to check if there was damage in my heart due to a possible heart attack or something like that. And the customary ECG, of course, for the heart rhythm. And I had some thyroid tests done, the TSH, TS3, and TS4 to check whether you have hyper or hypothyroidism. As I've researched, like the thyroid is just a really small gland, but it impacts your heart largely, and it also affects the way your heart beats. So they have to check that. And I also had my the regular blood chemistry, or like the complete blood count. Those are the tests that I needed to take. And to tell you honestly, it was super I felt so anxious because I would have to wait like a couple of days for the results. But I was just telling myself that I really needed to do it. Otherwise, I wouldn't know what was happening. I wouldn't know what is wrong with me, and I will not know what the right treatment is going to be. And of course, I thought that having myself checked is the only way that I would know if the attacks were caused by something else inside my body. And I would suggest the same to you. Hopefully, you have your HMO or your health insurance ready to pay for all these tests because they're not cheap, unfortunately. But it would really help. Early diagnosis just means early treatment for you, and it's a good news if it's something that can actually be treated. It's better to find out early. So, long story short, I was able to do all of the tests, and everything came back normal. So it was such a big relief, especially that I had a family history of heart problems. So when I had my 2D echo result, my heart was normal. My thyroid tests were normal. All blood tests came back normal as well. So at least we were able to rule out all of those possible illnesses. But it was understandable that it has something to do with my heart rhythm. That time I was super stressed and anxious. And so at least now I know that I am fine and I'm okay. I just really need to make sure that I avoid those trigger situations and I know how to train my brain. Now, speaking of training my brain, that's a number 2 thing that actually worked for me. It's like exercising your brain or your mind and then making your brain get used to thinking that there's nothing wrong. If there is really nothing wrong, there's no impending doom or something like that. Because as I've learned, your brain reacts to a fight or flight situation. So if you think that something is wrong, if you get stressed, your brain actually reacts to that. And so you're in a fight mode or in a fight situation, and that is why it manifests physically, which is what happened in my case. I had heart palpitations. My heartbeat or heart rate went up to 200 beats per minute, which was super alarming and which actually made the ER doctor really nervous. And I was just so glad that they were able to give me the meds right away, right there and then. My heart rate just went back to normal after that. So that's what happened. I had to really train myself to relax and, to think that nothing bad is going on. Even until now, if I would feel that something wrong is happening, I would always just tell myself, there's nothing wrong. Nothing bad is happening. You're fine. You're okay. I have to bring myself back to the present moment and tell myself that realize that you're here right now and you're okay. You're good. So there's really nothing to worry about. And that's when I would feel back to normal. I will not feel nervous again anymore. And then next thing is, of course, to understand your symptoms. It also really helped me because in my case, it has happened to me last year when I was so stressed with work. And a year after, around the same time, actually, it happened again. But this time it was worse because of my increased heart rate. I know that is what's happening. I'm aware of the symptoms, but I also really needed to understand what causes the symptoms. And so I came to notice that every time I'm super duper stressed about something or situation, it just takes this particular moment when my heart would beat so fast and I wouldn't be able to control it. It was really a scary feeling because sometimes it's super unexpected. Of course, you don't know exactly when it's going to happen, which is why I have to know if it's something that I can manage myself. The doctor also told me when I had my checkup that I have to know how to manage it. And as long as I know what to expect, then there's really nothing to worry about. It's not something that I should be thinking of every single day because that would just lead to more stress. And for me, if I know that my hands feel cold or I'm chilling or my hands become shaky, and the worst thing that can happen is actually my blurry vision, which just happened to me once, by the way, or feeling like I'm going to faint, that's the time when I have to go to the ER. Or maybe not, wait for you to feel worse before going to the ER. You just really have to listen to your body. So that's what I did. And the doctor said that I did the right thing because I felt that something bad is happening to me, that I immediately went to the ER. It just so happened that I was also in the hospital taking care of my sick husband, which was like, in essence, was exactly the reason that I got super stressed. So I was able to ask a nurse to bring me to the ER, and it worked in my favor. So I'm super grateful that that time I was at the right place at the right time. My vision went really blurry at that time, but I was still able to chat. Like, I really did my best to chat to my husband, who was lying in the hospital bed. He just had his major surgery. I was able to message my family, my parents, my siblings, about what's happening to me. I fought the feeling of like fainting, and thankfully I did not faint or anything, but I was like in a wheelchair down to the ER, and it was so bad. Like, but thankfully now I am more aware of my situation and I know what to do. The doctors also prescribed meds to me in case it happens again. Hopefully it does not, because I really would not want the anxiety to like hinder my day-to-day life. I wouldn't want to have anxiety that will stop me from doing what I want to do, because I'm super active and I really want to go out every now and then. I want to travel. And if I have anxiety and if I'm always expecting to have anxiety attack, that's just going to stop me from doing what I want to do in my life, which is not good. Another thing that actually worked for me was taking a walk and breathing deeply. Although the last episode and panic attack that I had, taking a walk and deep breathing did not do much of the work because that was like a different case already. But when I experienced that a year before, it actually worked for me. Like, it made me feel relaxed, and just breathing and really being aware of the situation also helped me like get back to the present moment, where I have to tell myself nothing is wrong, nothing is happening to you, you're okay. And lastly is to stop whatever I am doing and take a rest. Like, every time I feel like my heart is beating a bit faster, I would just stop what I'm doing, take a walk, take a breather, maybe like drink water, and take a rest right away. I mean, that's just like some of the simplest things that I can do to keep myself in check. So I hope that you think about that when you also experience something like an anxiety attack or a panic attack. I would never want to experience it anymore or ever again. It's just super bad. So I hope that if you're also in that same situation, that you're able to address it right away. Now, there are things that certainly did not work for me. And the number one thing is going to Google and Googling my symptoms, like searching about my symptoms. I know we're all guilty. Like, if we're feeling bad or feeling something, we go to Google and ask what we are feeling, but it's just going to make things worse unless we get ourselves checked. We may have an idea, but the bad thing is we may just overthink. So that's what happened to me. I kept Googling my symptoms and I would just tend to overthink things. And the moment I overthink things, that's when I also feel that my heartbeat is racing again, or that I'm feeling nervous again, because I kept thinking about my symptoms. I kept thinking about what's going to happen to me. So after that incident, I decided, you know what, I'm not going to Google anything anymore. If I need to know something, I have to go to the doctor and ask, because they'll be able to, explain to me what's really going on. Also, what did not work for me is eating a lot. It may be harmless at first, but I do feel like when you're too full or you have eaten a lot during the day or the night, that also adds to your anxiety level. At least that's what happened to me. So right now, I just try to make sure that I balance my eating habits. I do intermittent fasting actually every day, 16 hours of fasting and then 8-hour window of eating. That's pretty much what I follow. But sometimes when I'm super stressed, I tend to eat up until the wee hours of the morning, which is not good. And that also tends to make me feel bloated or to make my heart beat a bit faster. Another thing is, of course, coffee, soft drinks. It all boils down to the things that we also eat. Those are the things that will make you feel bad, not because like you've eaten a lot, but really because of the components of the food. So sometimes we really just have to be careful about what we're eating. Not sometimes, but I think all the time, balance is the key. Eating in moderation, things like that. There can be any factor or any reason for anxiety or for panic attack, and we have different ways to deal with it or to overcome it. And these are the ones that actually work and did not work for me. I hope that you're also able to find something that works well for you. And if you want to know more about my experience with anxiety, like getting too nervous easily, then I can link some of my videos as well in this particular video. Leave me some comments below if you have any questions or if you have any concerns, and I'll be very glad to answer them.